We'd like to bring up to you Mr. Wadia Dafesh.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing this evening? Great. Outstanding. Well, first I'd like to start off with the universal greeting, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Which means, for those of you who don't know, may the peace, blessings, and mercy of the Creator be upon each and every one of you. Because to me, Enagic represents the core of who we are as a human being. And that's what you're going to actually see from me tonight and this evening when I'm actually educating and talking to you about Enagic and my experience. Because we are human beings. But a lot of us don't understand actually what that means and what that applies globally. But Mr. Ashiro, he does. And so when he saw that, he understood that, what he do? He actually made it happen through his intentions. And that's why he's been able to attract the quality of life out of each and every human being around the world. That's what we can say. We are all what? Enagic family. And actually, this is not going to stop. It's going to continue to grow until every single human being around the world has this machine. So right now, it's just the beginning. So, I know it's hard to see this right here, but of course, I want to talk about what Enagic has done for me. When I first started off, a lot of people say, you know, they misunderstand. They think actually it was either was given or I came at the right time. But honestly, I came in at a point in my life when I actually had nothing. I actually had just got my freedom back. I actually was dealing with an illness where I was at rock bottom, didn't have my health. So now as I fast forward to 10 years and I see what it has done and I reflect on this whole entire journey and this movement that's been created over the past 10 years in the United States. Now it's global around the world. Now I'm truly understanding what Enagic is all about. And I'm truly understanding how this mission is changing people's lives globally, and it's simple. And I'm going to break it down to you guys tonight so you guys can see what it is that I've actually seen over the past 10 years and how we can truly expand this opportunity globally around the world. And best of all, what it has done for me, it hasn't not just given me the life by design, the freedom to live my life and do whatever I want, however I want to do it, whomever I want to do it with, or giving me back my health, but it's given me something that I've always desired, and that was my life partner, my wife. Because a man is not complete until he has his life partner. Because we're always looking. So from there, once you find it, believe me, your life is going to change and unfold dramatically. So thank you, my wife, my beautiful wife, for being there. So the next slide I want to talk to you about actually is called True Freedom Through Achieving True Health, Emotionally, Socially, Spiritually, Occupationally, Intellectually, and Physically. What does that mean? Let me tell you. This is showing you that Enagic is the solution. It is the solution to everything every human being around the world is looking for. All you have to do is listen, ask the questions, see what it is that they're desiring in their own personal life, and you just know, and then from there you mold Enagic as the solution to what it is that they're looking for. So for me, that's what I do on a daily basis. I ask questions. I listen. Because why? I've achieved, thank God, every one of these healths that Mr. Ashiro has actually been educating and training about over the years. The physical health, the financial, the emotional, the spiritual. So when I've achieved that, what does that mean? I have that success that people are looking for. So for those of you who actually are obtaining that success, what you want to do is you want to partner up with the leaders that are in Enagic. Use them as the ones that you can say, hey, because actually that's what me and my father did in the very, very beginning. Immediately we would share the opportunity, we would share the product, we'd ask a question, and from there we would do an automatic three-way, and most likely call Romy or Cynthia, somebody who had the credibility and was able to show the success behind Enagic. We are all one family. You never want to work by yourself. You want to actually incorporate everybody that you have together within your organization, within your teams. The best way to do that, what I do on a daily basis, I'm on the phone 24 hours a day, either doing webinars or training. I'm not doing demos. You know why I don't do demos anymore? Times are changing when it comes to technology. Everything is out there on YouTube. Everything is accessible to share the information and share the value. What you want to do is you want to bring the dream to somebody so they can see the bigger picture. It's all about bringing the exposure, multiple streams of exposure. The more you're able to do that at one time, then the faster you're going to bring somebody in. To me, I don't think the ways that we were doing it in the beginning was able to achieve the results that we wanted quick enough. So what we did was we recorded ourselves and we made these videos so they're not just accessible for us, but for everybody in Enagic as a whole. So to get to point A to point Z, if we can do it quicker and faster and more successfully, to me, it's going to bring the end result faster. So that's why I tell people, I say, listen, times are changing, technology is changing. Use what the leaders are doing, see what we're doing, how we're being able to achieve results quicker and faster. So what I want to say is, like YouTube, for instance, I have a YouTube page called Wadia Dafesh. People use my videos. I tell my teams, right when they come in, I say, write a list. Write a list and get everybody right in front of my information. The reason why you want to do that is because they don't necessarily know what to say or what to do, right? But they can write a list and they can come up to somebody and say, hey, what is it right now in your life that you're looking for? Someone may say, I'm looking for physical health. Someone may say, I'm looking for an opportunity. Someone may say, I'm looking for a family. Someone may say, I'm looking for love. Someone may say, I'm looking for something that's bigger than life, bigger than myself. I'm trying to connect to my spiritual awareness. So then what I do is I say, listen, I have the perfect solution, the perfect opportunity that what you're looking for. What I need you to do is just take at least 1 hour out of your day, whenever you have it, to actually take a look at this YouTube channel. And from there's going to be many different videos that are going to connect you and be relatable to whether it's technology or opportunity or lifestyle. And you're going to find those answers that you're seeking. And then from there, we'll introduce you to all the successful leaders that are achieving that so you can relate to them. Because it's about being relatable, right? Sometimes I may not be relatable to somebody who is from a different culture or different race or nationality or gender. So I'm going to connect them to someone that they can relate to. And when they see that someone that they can relate to has the success that they want in their life, then it clicks. When it comes to a demo or a presentation, I say, hey, watch this video, 12-minute demo. Whether it's mine, whether it's Bob Cadelli's, whether it's Daniel DiMcCully's, whether it's my young generation or the new, it doesn't really matter as long as they see it. And when they see it, the more visually they see the opportunity where it's real and it comes to life, the more they understand that, wow, I can achieve this. All I have to do is share it. Because some people can't duplicate the leaders that are in Enagic. When I first came into Enagic, I was completely like, oh my gosh, can I even do this? I don't even know, where do I begin? My father used to say, make a friend. You're in the industry of network marketing, the industry of human connection, the industry of, shaking hands, having a degree in relationship building. That's what the industry that we're in. That's why Mr. Ashiro chose this industry, the industry of network marketing, the industry of human connection, instead of the retail. Because why there's no connection? If they would go into a store and say, oh, what is this device? Oh, it's overpriced. No, thank you, I don't want it. There's no connection. They don't understand the value. They don't understand that this value far exceeds the price tag, far exceeds the opportunity, far exceeds the technology. It actually is a part of a culture and a part of a mission to enhance humanity as a whole. And when you're able to expose that and share that with them as quickly as possible to where they get it, they see it, the light goes on, and then guess what? They get super excited. The reason why the young millennial movement is bringing hundreds of people in every single month and people don't understand it is because we get it. People have a short attention span. What do most people do on a 24-hour basis all day long? Stare at their phone, right? That's where most people's eyes are 24 hours a day. So then what do you need to do? You need to get their eyes that are on the phone in front of the information. That's why you share it digitally, either on Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram or YouTube, right? Doing funnels and webinars. That's what I do. I pretty much don't even leave my house. But we're bringing hundreds of people in. Why? Because we're utilizing the tools that are in place to help people understand and see the success. I don't even know how I got there so quick. The success of what they can achieve, which is what? True freedom through true health. Because I'll walk up to somebody and I'll say, I can give you exactly what you want out of life. He says, how do you know? You don't even know me. I say, there's one thing I know that you want. It's the same thing that every human being on this earth and this planet wants. You know what that is? Freedom. Freedom. True freedom. The ability to say, I don't need a job. I don't need a boss. I don't have to depend on society to dictate to me what my value is worth. I can achieve that myself through an opportunity that Mr. Oshiro has established. See, I love motivational speakers. You know why? They motivate all day long. Beautiful. Thank you. We need that. We need that empowerment. But there's one key, there's one element that they're missing. You know what that is? It's the solution. It's the vehicle to get somebody to the destination that they want to go. Thank you for giving me those words of encouragement, those words of empowerment. But I'm still in the same place that I was before I heard this. But with Enagic, you can say, hey, look, this is the vehicle. It's the vehicle that every human being on this planet can get in and achieve their success. And then you have to just mimic and follow the leaders. Don't reinvent the wheel. Most people try to come in and do it their way. Don't do it their way. Do it the way that's working. Just look around you. Look at the people that are successful. Listen, God gave you 2 eyes and 2 ears and 1 mouth. What does that mean? It means listen more, pay attention more, and talk less. Right? That's the essence. So for us, so what I do is I'm constantly, remember, even though I may be looked at upon as a leader, how do I look at myself? As a student. A student from the cradle to the grave, always seeking, always learning, always diving in the pool of self-development, 24 hours a day to improve myself. Because my bigger picture of what I'm seeking is what? The actual meaning of life. Why we were created, why we're here, what our purpose is. Finding those answers so I can have that inner fulfillment. See, everything that you hear today from Wade to Don Prosser, to Sebastian, to all these leaders that you're hearing, phenomenal. These are leaders sharing experience, sharing knowledge, sharing wisdom because they've achieved it. You know what trial and error is? You know what trials and tribulations is? They're nothing but character building days. You have to understand that those need to happen. When he says, "Are you ready to accept?" Wade Lightheart says, "Are you ready to accept failure?" Failure is a lesson. There's always a positive in every negative situation. You just need the knowledge, and you need to have the patience to actually reflect on what had happened in your life or what you're going through, because there's a lesson behind it. And to seek out that lesson is to dive in the world of knowledge. To me, it's spiritual knowledge. To seek out why I'm going through this, because if you study prophets, were the greatest men that ever were created, they were the ones that were tested the most in life. Every single one of them. Right? But why is that? As an example to say, hey, look, if this happened to the best creation, then it can happen to you. And if it happens to you, don't feel bad. Feel like it's a blessing. These are lessons to empower you, to help you, build you into the person that you're meant to be. And then when you're able to, now, it also makes you relatable. So when someone sees me and sees my success level and says, oh, I can't be like him. I've been here, I've been there, this has happened to me, that has happened. How do I know what's happened to them? And I say, hey, money doesn't make who I am. It doesn't define me. What defines me is my heart, my character, right? That's what defines us as a human being. So when you actually connect with somebody, and you actually, because people are going to look at you 3 different ways. They're either going to look up at you, down at you, or as their equal. So when people look up to me, guess what I do? I grab them, I pick them up, and I empower them, and I say, you're my equal. There's no difference between me and you. One day is 1,000, they say one day older is 1,000 days wiser. So if anything, I have something to learn from everyone that's older than me. I remain a student, I remain humble. So these are the things that I incorporate into my life when it comes to Enagic, because Enagic to me is the solution. It is the vehicle. It is the answer that every human being is looking for. That's how I connect this opportunity to somebody. Immediately within the first time I meet them, second time I meet them, usually with the first time, it's kind of soft. Because remember, it's just like when you first were meeting the person that you wanted to marry, your significant other, you weren't hard and aggressive and fast. You were, how you doing? You were actually using your grace upon them. You were being charismatic. That's how I connect with people. I'm kind of charismatic, kind of, relaxed. And say, how's it going? Tell me about yourself. What are you facing? What are you going through? And then from there, as I'm connecting with them and building that connection, that relationship, now I can start seeing what it is that they need in their life. Something that can help them get them to the next level. It's very, very simple if you just listen, pay attention, and connect with them. You don't need to learn, like Mickey was saying, all the technical stuff. We did that in the beginning. We made those mistakes where we were just vomiting all over people, telling them all this information that just, they didn't really need to hear. What they need to hear is you saying, hey, I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to actually take my time out to help you because it's not about me, it's about you. It's how I can be in service to you, to help you get to the next level. And I use this simple philosophy, which Mr. Ashiro, which he dreamt of. To me, it's universal, which is the true freedom, the true health, physically, financially, with peace of mind, within spiritual. But you just break it down in different groups. When it comes to the intellectual side, you can say, hey, you're going to be around people that are the best quality out of life, that are highly educated, highly motivated, where you can learn new things that are improving societies and globally around the world. You connect that. Physically, you can say, this water can actually help purify your body, help remove the contaminants, remove the distractions. Because you have to understand something. What holds people back mostly in their life from achieving where they need to go is two major things. One are physical ailments, right? Physical distractions, lifestyle-related illnesses. So if you help them physically with their health, what's the next thing? The next thing is to help them with one more illness or disease. I call it bronchitis, right? Because what do men and women are doing 24 hours a day, working 2 to 3 or 4 jobs constantly, consistently, giving up all of their time out of a day, devoting to a career path that's not giving them their values worth, while their family or their children are being neglected. So when I say freedom, what I mean is I'm going to give you back 100% of your time. I attract all types of people in my industry. One of these new guys I brought in not that long ago, he makes $35,000 a day. And you know what I asked him? I said, what happens if you don't go to work? He says, I don't get paid. I said, that's the difference between what you're doing and what I'm doing. One, what I'm doing is not linear income. It's leveraged income. I'm a part of a movement that represents humanity that's empowering individuals to achieve the life that they've always dreamed of. And is giving them a lifestyle to do whatever they want to do it, however they want to do it, whether I can walk away today and I still got it coming. Why? Because I got leveraged income, making money off of other efforts, other human being efforts, the teams that I'm building, the relationships, the family. When he saw that, he said, oh my God, you have something I don't have, which is freedom. So for me, there's so many different ways to connect with people. You just need to find exactly what it is that they're seeking, what it is that they're looking, and be patient. Patience is the #1 thing when dealing with difficulties. Any difficulty that you have, just be patient. Don't get frustrated. Don't say this isn't working. Do you know how many times, I keep it real, you know how many times in this past 10 years where I was like, I'm done, this is driving me crazy. And I wanted to walk away, but then I actually would take a pause, I would step back and say, what are my choices? There's nothing out there in society, doesn't matter what it is to me, that adds up to the opportunity of imagine. Nothing. So at the end of the day, I knew that this was home. So when I'm able to share that with people and say, hey, look, this is home. Because why? We're not just an opportunity-driven company, right? We're not. We're a result-driven company, a product-driven company. 95% of people that are a part of this are just end users. They just want to consume the water. That's it. So when we know that there's a crisis around the world that has to do with water, it's going to get worse as the years go on, what does that mean? That means eventually this technology is going to be in everyone's home around the world. That means everybody needs it, everybody wants it. If they don't know, we're going to let them know why they need it and why they want it. And we're going to share it with them. I tell that to people all day long, I say, it's okay, it's the inevitable. They say, what do you mean it's the inevitable? I say, do you have a smartphone? They say, yeah. I say, do you have a flat screen TV? They say, yeah. Do you have a laptop computer? They say, yeah. I said, did you have it when it first came out? They say, no, I didn't. So I said, well, so what does that mean? It means that society eventually catches up to technology. Just like people that are still doing demos, I think demos are outstanding. They used to call me the king of demos. I remember when all the leaders first came together to my father's house, and it was me and my dad doing a demo, the old-fashioned way. But the reason why, to me, I say show through a video is because I don't want to just reach one family. I don't want to reach just 10 families or 20 families. I want to be able to cast a net out through the world, all the way across the world through social media, and use these platforms, because if I had the bigger net that I have, what? The more I get to bring in more fish, more people. The smaller net I have, the smaller amount of people I'm going to bring. So I don't want to just expose a handful of people. I want to expose thousands. There's a guy in this room, Matthew, he's here, 682-3 in 9 months. Exactly, wow. Why? Because he understands technology. He understands the movement, how things are changing. He understands having that bigger net and being able to cast it globally around the world instead of just attracting 1, 2, or 3, or 4 people. Right? And he's only 9 months in. He doesn't have the experience that we have. He maybe I don't even know how many times he's done a demo, but it doesn't matter. It's not about working hard, it's about what? Working smart. If you know better, you can do what? You can do better. That's why, if you guys want to know the secrets of how to get, is you want to lend an ear, and you want to actually absorb the information, absorb what we're telling. The next thing I want to talk about, I'm going to might go back and forth. It's hard to see here, but it's called leadership. You have to understand something about leadership. First of all, leadership is something that is given by the Creator. Okay? If you misuse it or abuse it, it will be taken away from you. You have to understand it's a responsibility, and you're going to be held accountable for your leadership. If you lead people the wrong way, it's going to fall on you. You lead them the right way, then you're going to receive the blessings, and you're going to receive the benefits, and it's going to show through your efforts. It's going to show through your intentions. It's going to show through your results when it comes to leadership. So what do I do as a leader? I'm constantly connecting with my teams. I love what Enrique said a couple years back. He reaches down to the bottom of his organization, past all the levels, because it's not about the money, right? It's about the intention of really truly being there for people that are connected to you. So if you find that your leader sometimes is too busy, it's okay, keep knocking on the door. Because there's probably 100 people knocking at the same time. And if the leader comes from an authentic place, that's why I love what he was talking about, being authentic, that's absolutely true. Because being authentic is not superficial, it's not on the surface. It's internal, of who we are as a human being. It all stems down to our heart. So the essence of enagic to me when it comes to purification, right, when it comes to anti-aging, right, to me it comes down to purifying the essence of the man, which is his heart, and the heart is connected to his soul. So the more that we are purified internally, and we know how to deal with the diseases of the heart, like pride and arrogance and hatred and slothfulness, which is a lack or a disinterest or laziness of spiritual matters. These are things that we have to work on a daily basis. Like I said, self-development, 24 hours a day. You want to see results in your company? You want to see growth exponentially in your finances or in your team? You need to continually work on yourself every single day until you're dead. Because you will find that even at death, life is eternal, and you're walking into the next phase. But you have to understand something. In order to achieve the success in the next chapter, it's about preparation here on earth. This is preparation for the next life. And there's no better way to serve humanity than to what? To serve with something that is beneficial, that is going to help and elevate mankind physically, financially, emotionally, and spiritually through enagic. Through what we have. To me, it's divine. What we do is divine. What we do is, like I said, is bigger than technology. It's bigger than opportunity. It's bigger than the company. It is the essence of why we are created, to be in service to human beings all around us, globally, to pay it forward. People say to me all the time, thank you, thank you. Oh my God, I say, don't thank me. Thank the Creator. You don't owe me anything. Go pay it forward. Go help a family that is in need. Doesn't matter who they are, what they are, where they came from, anything of that nature, right? It matters is what you can do for somebody else. And when you understand that Enagic is that solution, is that problem solver, and you're able to relate stories of success, stories sell, facts tell. So when people ask me questions about the science, I don't know, I'm not a doctor. Do you ask questions to the Mercedes dealership, how is the engine made? Or do you just know that Mercedes is the best car to buy, so you buy it? I don't go into the technical side. It's not about that. It's about the solutions. It's about overcoming any problems that you have in your personal life that I can help you get the results that you're looking for. So I'm always sharing success stories. You know what? Every time I talk to somebody, there's a woman in this room who actually that a lot of people talk about. I think she's from Malaysia. She reached 6, 8, 18 days, right? There's I think an e-newsletter about her success. I share it every time I talk to somebody. You know why? I say, hey, Indonesia, Malaysia, these countries, third world countries, right? If they're able to, a woman of 3, able to achieve this level of success within 18 days, what does that tell somebody who's living in America and has all the opportunity in the world, and they're trying to tell me this thing's too expensive? Oh, this thing is not going to sell. Okay, so me, what they're telling me is, okay, obviously you're standing in the way of your own success. So let's get out of your own way, and let's talk about why you think that. And let's break that down. See, I connect with people. I make people be held accountable for what they say and what they do. Because as I do that, then I can help them grow. But if you feel like you know it all, right? If you feel like you got it covered, or you don't need to take the advice of other people who have that level of success, then that's what? That's a disease of the heart. That's pride. That's arrogance. You have to be humble. Look at Mr. Oshiro, how humble he is, right? How he comes from a place of compassion. He comes from a place of giving, because he's seen the dark side of the world. He's seen the trials. He's seen the tribulation. He's seen the hardships. What does that mean? It means he's relatable. So people like Mr. Oshiro, people like other leaders that you're seeing across the world of Enagic that come from that same place but achieve the level of success, that means anybody can do it. I'm not scared to tell people I've made every single mistake imaginable, practically, almost. Right? I'm not perfect, I'm imperfect. But what I know is that when I take recognition of the things that I've done and say, how can I improve that? Then I know that I've learned the lesson behind that to help other human beings achieve that by sharing my success, by sharing my hardships. Right? Because that's what it's about. Right? Because it's not about me, it's about them. So that's why these I must be pressing this list left and right. So that's why it's about understanding the characteristics of leadership. To me, I think is very, very important. One thing that I do every single day, webinars. I love the internet. I love social media. Like, that's the guru we're sitting right there, Gus Matthews, right? You make videos, that's what we do, right? Record the success, every success in your life, record it. If you're a diamond, but no one knows you're a diamond, how can you shine, right? You have to be able to shine. So the minute you buy your machine, you know what I tell my new distributor, the minute they buy it, shoot a video. Talk about why you bought this technology, why you love Enagic, what it's done for you, where you see yourself. The more you brand yourself, the more you record yourself, the more people are going to see your success, and the more you're going to attract that abundance and attract that success, and it's going to get to a point, like how as leaders, we can't even keep up with it. I can't even keep up with the sales that are coming in. This morning, seriously, people are hitting me up and saying, I have 4 or 5 sales. I'm in Japan right now. I'm out to hit the stage. I can't keep up with it. Why? Because when the millennials came in and they saw me, they said, bro, you're like a sleeping giant. You have this level of success, but no one knows who you are. You need to record yourself. And then I met my wife, and my wife made my life come alive. And I started to what? To brand myself, to let the world know, hey, look at me, my story is no different than anybody else. My father, he came from Philistine. There being genocide out there, right? Country taken away, the war, my grandfather was in it. Right? We've been to the bottom, third world country. He didn't know his ABCs until he was in high school. But see, but one thing my father had, he had faith, he had determination, he had belief. Why? Because of his mother. Same thing like Mr. Oshiro, his mother. Says, you're powerful, you're great, you're going to do it. Words of encouragement. So if there's people out there that don't have family, don't have someone who's given them that essence, then you got to be that source of empowerment. Because there's a lot of people out there who don't have that family. So what do we need to represent Enagic as? As the home, as the people who are unified, globally, as a family who come together to be there for each other, to support one another. Doesn't matter if you're on this team, that team. But if you're saying, hey, you're not on my team, I can't help you, shame on you. Shame on you. Because you have to be, like I said, in a state of appreciation and gratitude. Because if you allow those diseases of the heart to manifest into your life, then it's going to get stripped away from you. It's going to get stripped away from you. And like I said, life in this world is about preparation for the afterlife. So I'm constantly reminding people about how to better themselves, to improve themselves, and why Enagic is that solution. So people come in immediately with me. Immediately they're coming in. Why? Because like I said, they're not necessarily buying into the technology, because they don't even have the water. When people say, I got to try it before I buy it. Oh, great, no problem. Enagic has a 30-day return policy or has a 15-day return policy. You got to drink it fresh. You got to understand. They buy you, who you are as a human being. That's what they put their trust into. So all day long, I'm showing people, I'm spending time connecting with them. Doesn't matter who they are, whether they're on my team, somebody else's team, I'm reaching out my hand. And I'm helping them. I'm going deep. And the more people I help, the more people I serve, the more abundance and more success comes into my life. Use the tools that are out there that Enagic has, that the distributors have, to get where you need to go. It's about exposure. The more exposure you give somebody, the more value and credibility that they see. Does that make sense? Yes. It's simple. That's why I say, take an hour out of your day, go to my YouTube page, and watch my videos. And as a matter of fact, if you need to send more, I'll send you other videos from other leaders that I have that are receiving the success. Before they know it, they've seen so much research or so much information or so much value, now they're saying, wow, how do I get this thing? I don't talk price. Never do I talk price. How can I tell somebody that this thing is a $5,000 medical device? They don't even understand what it is. They don't even understand what the opportunity is. You want to know one of my secrets? I don't talk price. I talk value. I talk solutions. I talk that this is the answer that you're looking for. When they say, how do I get it? I'm going to say, great question. Let me tell you how you're going to answer that when someone asks you the same question. I say, if you're in a position to utilize the bank's money, like the bank is leveraging your money by your money being in the bank, leverage theirs. Throw it on a credit card at 0% interest. I don't believe in interest, right? Minimum payment, $55 a month. Very, very affordable. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you find 10 people that you know that are looking for more success and abundance in their life. Whether it's physically, financially, doesn't matter what it is, what angle. Hey, everybody drinks water, so I know you know 10 people who drink water. Then I'm going to help them reach the level of 3A in 1 month. Now, what I'll do is I'll use my webinar. So what does that mean? I'll have about 50 people on my team, and probably 75 to 80% of them are new people who just jumped on board, or people that are seeing this for the first time, and they're getting this third-party exposure from people who already have the success, or people that are seeing it for the first time. And I'll talk about how we're going to get them to 3A. They're like, what's 3A? It's 10 group sales. That means if it's 10 group sales, and they all came in on a credit card, that means your actual business and your machine is now free before you even made your first payment of $55. And actually, you probably pocketed about $1,500. I'm talking K8. They don't know K8, SD501. I'm just talking opportunity. I'm talking water. I'm shooting for the top machine, right? And then from there, I'm going to say, once you're a 3A now and your business is free, it's no longer a debt, but now it's an asset, bringing you a new stream of lucrative leveraged income. Now we're going to go out and find 10 more people out of the list of 100 people that you know, 10 more leaders like-minded like yourself, and we're going to actually duplicate that process and help them achieve 3A in 1 month. And if we succeed and do that, that's $100,000 in your pocket, and now you're a 6A and you're one of the leaders of Enagic. Do you see how simple I made that sound? Do you see how much value I placed on that? Now when I say it's $5,000, it no longer matters, because they saw the bigger picture. But if I tell them the price in the very, very beginning, they're going to think it's an overpriced filter. So I never talk price. I'm talking opportunity. I'm talking value. I'm giving them exposure. And once I know that they're able to understand the value of this, now they're ready to jump in. And I'm averaging, man, I probably had about 50 people, which is not that much, in a matter of 2 months come in. And I got 10 of them I've already reached 3A in 3 weeks. And they're brand new people, and they don't even know what they're doing. They're just getting people in front of the information and getting them on my webinar or getting them information. I mean, Matthew's got about probably 100 or 200 people coming at him in a month. Why? Because he's using other tools of exposure, like funnels, right? Like internet marketing. These are things that you need to learn. You got to evolve when it comes to technology. And for those of you who don't have a Facebook, you're missing out. You're not getting it. When people ask me for a business card, I say I don't have one. It's Facebook. Do you have a Facebook? They say, yeah, I do. I say, great. Can I see your phone? I type in my name. I befriend me. Then I type in Enagic's Facebook and I press like. Because everything Enagic posts now goes on their page. And then from there, I add them to my messenger on my Facebook. This is what all my leaders do. I teach this to all my leaders. The millennials are already doing it. They'll create one message with 1,000 people that they've all talked to on their team, all on one page, one message text group on Messenger, on Facebook. So now all of a sudden when they want to text somebody something, they're texting their whole team. Then when people start to reply, they start to interact. They see the family, they see the culture. You want to succeed in this business? You got to build culture. You got to build a movement, a following. That's what they want to see the family, they want to feel the energy. Does that make sense? It's not a one-man show and it's not a one-man exposure. I'm bringing them into a whole world, a whole movement, because the more I expose them to, then all of a sudden their eyes get really big and they understand the value. And they're going, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be a part of this. In the States, we have opportunity calls that we do 2 times a day, 5 days a week, 30 minutes long, where we interview 1 to 2 people, once in the morning, once in the afternoon. Third-party exposure. Then me and my father, we do a live training call on Saturdays. There's like 3 of them that go on. Romy does one, Michelle Rayleigh does another one, my dad does one, different times, and they're an hour long. It's exposure. Then we record it for people who've missed it, right? Then there's webinars, then there's videos. There's all types of tools you want to connect people to so they can see the success of what we're doing and how we're living. You don't need to be the man who understands all the science behind this. I tried that route. It doesn't work. Because then they want to dispute with you. Talk about this and that and this science. And I don't have time for that anymore. I want to talk solutions. I want to talk how we can get you to the next level in your life where you want to be. Right? So it's about stories and it's about exposure. So take heed to this because it works. All these things work. It's about bringing as many people at one time into a space where they can see the exposure, see the value, and then they all jump in at once. That's why people are reaching these levels of success so quickly, so fast. When 10 years ago, when we first started, we didn't know what we were doing. But now people are catching up to the times, they're catching up to the technology, and then pretty soon, in about 15 to 20 years, 95% of the world is going to catch up to Enagic. They're going to own a machine. So then, I tell you what I tell people when I tell them that. I say, you're lucky. Right now, you're lucky. Why am I lucky? You're lucky because you just caught the wave in front of the wave. You just caught the trend in the beginning of the trend. That means the opportunity hasn't passed you by. Now you're actually at the right place at the right time to gain the financial success of this opportunity. Because when 95% of the world has this technology, sorry, you missed the boat. You missed the wave. If you're a guy who surfs, you missed the wave, it's gone. What does Mr. Oshiro say in this book? He says to run as fast as you can. Run as fast as you can. Right? Smart, successful people make decisive, quick decisions. Right? They don't hesitate. He says if you actually stop and you slow down, opportunities are going to continue passing you by. But he says if you're running and you make a mistake, you can go back and fix it. But if the opportunity has passed you by, it's gone forever. It's gone forever. So you want to put your foot hard on the pedal, and you want to go as fast as you can. And you want to learn as much as you can. You want to watch all the videos. You want to follow every single leader that's making success, that's having success in this business, and duplicate that process. It's about duplication. Say duplication. Don't reinvent the wheel. Duplicate what your leader teaches. That's what my teams are doing. They just mimic. And they share the information, and they get people on, and they're achieving success, and they're blown away. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Oh my God, I'm already a 3A, I'm a 4A in a short period of time. Right? Because why? They're duplicating. So you have to follow the system of Enagic. Follow what the leaders do. There's a system in place. There's a formula and system to everything in life. If you're a chef, there's a formula to cooking. There's a formula to baking. If you're in martial arts, there's a formula to martial arts. There's a formula to athletic, abilities. Everything is practice. Everything is a formula. You have to follow the formulas of life that are going to get you to the success levels of each and every group that you see up on the stage. Whether it's emotionally, socially, spiritually, occupationally, intellectually, doesn't matter what it is, there's a formula. To me, I look at it like, hey, why do you think the Creator sent down over 125,000 prophets to mankind? They were giving the blueprints, the examples of how to live life. To me, this is, when people ask me, they say, who's your mentor? The Creator and the prophets. Simple as that. Right? Because if you study or watch any other, from Les Brown to Tony Robbins to, it doesn't matter who they are in the network marketing industry, and you listen to them, it's the same stuff that you hear when you go to the spiritual knowledge, right? So if you know that these leaders are, they're sharing that same information, then go to the source. Go to the source so you can understand the meaning of life and the essence of life and how this world is the preparation for the next life. And why Enagic is the key to that. It is the key. Because what did we do when there was that break? We were walking outside, right? We were taking pictures of what? Of the -3s of the trees that were being planted. Do you know what that means? Okay, look. There's certain deeds you can do in this world right now that are going to give you the blessings in the afterlife. You know what those deeds are? You know what those things is? One, building schools, universities of education that help mankind evolve into the human being that they were meant to be, giving glory and praise to the Creator. Two, building a well. What is Enagic? When you give somebody a machine and you bring them into Enagic, you're giving them that well. They're able to take undrinkable water, most likely if it's coming from Detroit in the States, or coming from Mexico, or coming from other locally parts of the world where they can't drink their tap water. All of a sudden now they have an Enagic machine, and boom, now they have clean water. That's like a well. Those are blessings. Planting trees is another, because when you're gone from this world, and that tree lives a couple hundred years, and it's providing shelter, it's providing food, and it's providing clean oxygen as it filters the contaminants of the air, you're going to receive blessings. That's why I think it's beautiful. It's that you can see the spiritual awareness by Mr. Oshiro when he's planting a tree in your name as a -3. When we have a technology that's like giving somebody a well for their need. When he has this center, this EAPA system of what? Of education. Do you see this? It's a spiritual movement, a spiritual awareness to help people become who they need to be and achieve their goals. Because like Mr. Oshiro says, dreams aren't just meant to be dreamed, they're meant to come true. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, family, for letting me come out here and share my success. And soon we'll be revealed.